Welcome to the Back 9 Six-Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 148 of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Tonight, we will get into our favorite week of the year, our member. The 2026 Stampede is this week. We're going to talk a little Open Championship, some of our own golf, and the run-up to the Stampede, etc. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. This is the first Monday back to work after a long vacation.
That's always tough.
Tough scenes for your boy over here.
That's always really, really hard. There's really no easy way to go about it. I mean, and that first week back too is it's tough. And then you got this. Yeah. So it's like, it's already going to be kind of a long week because you got something to look forward to. So
I should have just taken, the full 2 weeks off and,
just rolled it into the
just live my best life until, July 20th or whatever that would be next Monday. Yeah. You go from, the mountain life, nature, all that stuff back to firing up your computer, having to run like 3 updates because you haven't touched it and just pounding keyboards and underneath the white light of fluorescence above you. This is not the life we were meant to live. I don't think.
It's not. No, it's definitely not my cup of tea either, but bills to pay, kids to feed, golf to play. So, and that all costs money. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, tease it off the rip. Best week of the year. I know you've got the bachelor life going. 3 hours of practice today. What else have you been up to in this freedom?
Well, I played 27 holes of golf on Saturday. I got in a game on Saturday, played that, sat around for a little bit, got a sugar 9 together. We ended up playing a shamble in the sugar 9. Was at the golf course for 13 hours on Saturday. So, I was telling people, I was like, the best part, told my dog, I'm like, hey, I'll be back. Don't know when. He didn't complain at all. He just kind of took it. Like, that's why dog's man's best friend right there. So, but then I had that, and then I spent all day at the pool yesterday essentially just like, this is the last day off of golf kind of situation, like kind of get the body back to level. And then, today was work, and then went out and grinded out a practice session, which has not happened in quite some time. No range balls, though. Yeah. All short game tonight. So,
well, I think that would be welcome news for those that have been listening this whole time to your putting woes over the last couple months. So
it's been rough. I think we're turning a corner. We've seen rock bottom. That's the good news. So
good. All right, we'll get more into that in a minute. But you mentioned the pool, so I had to bring this up because we've been out for a couple weeks here. I'm talking to the Cherry Lane Farms Cannonball champion.
Yes, I forgot. We've not done a show since 4th of July.
Yeah.
This is bad radio, but I've got the trophy right here. It sits on my desk.
Literal cannonball with the fuse and all.
And it's got cherries on it. So, I went full Hulk Hogan. Or Macho Man Randy Savage, just ripped the shirt off. That was the winner. Then there was like kids in the pool watching. Everybody's really nice to them. I went full heel on the kids. But they're not the judges. So that got me the win. I fully plan on repeating next year. Everybody's like, what are you going to do next year? I'm like, if I told you, that would ruin it. And I'm trying to repeat. So
yeah, the ultimate showman. That was brilliant video. And then the best was getting the text from shout out to Stein a few days later. The heads on view, just like mid-flight, peak male form, peak physical, athletic,
in a great cannonball form.
Truly,
for what it's worth.
Yeah, you kind of had like the side spin going. It was maximum surface area to the water. It was well done, very well executed.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I said, plan on repeating next year. I barely won this year. Next year's, we're trying to distance ourselves from the field a little bit. So I don't know what I've got planned yet, but we'll figure something out.
I love that attitude. You're not here just to win. You're there to dominate. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack, and shoot us some fan mail. That link is down in the show description. We just talked a little bit about your 27-hole day and all that, but I know you've played, a decent amount of golf recently. I just want to catch up on everything that you've been up to.
Yeah, so I think, I guess, we've been out for 2 weeks, a little summer break here, and, we had our 4th of July tournament. Didn't go very well. I played okay. Team just never really we just kind of missed our opportunities. But that was kind of like coming off rock bottom with the putter. Putted slightly better that day. And then I'm trying to think. And we had league last Wednesday. So that's the round that we should probably talk about. So
I've heard about this. Yeah.
So last Wednesday, I had a college teammate in town from San Diego. They wanted to play golf, so I took a half day. Went out and was like, yeah, I'll play 18 holes, hang around and then play in league. Played terrible and with my buddy, like just highest round of the year at our golf course. And I don't think I've shot a score that high and probably, you'd probably have to go back a couple years, maybe even 3 or 4 years, that high of a score. Kept it in the 70s, barely. Had to make like a 10-footer on the last hole to shoot 79. Then we went up on the patio for a couple hours and kind of just catching up. I see him like once every year and a half. His sister lives in Dayton, but it's a long trip. He's got kids and stuff like that. But we were catching up, and man, it's like 3 hours, 2.5 hours went by really fast. Next thing I know, I'm getting called over. Like, you got to pay your entry fee in the league, and hopped right in the cart and first hole hit it to like a foot. It was like, all right, tap in for birdie. Scared the hole on the next hole. Kind of had another makeable birdie putt on my fourth hole. Then I birdied the par 5, number 2 white, which was my 5th hole. Birdied the par 3 that you had your hole in one on. Lipped out on the next hole. And then birdied 5. For the record, I can't tell you if I've ever birdied both par 3s in a 9-hole stretch on that side.
Hard to do.
I almost went the trifecta. I almost went birdieing the par 3s and the par 4 in between, which is like the number 1 handicap hole. Yeah. That would have been special. Last hole was the par 5, 6th hole, and hit it up there, chipped it up till hit it out of the bunker to like 4 feet, and made the putt. Walked off with a 31 and exactly 0 skins. So I made 5 birdies and not a single skin, which I felt really bad about. I'm like, this pisses me off. But then our guy Joe, holes out on a par 4 for an eagle, gets canceled out. So I was like, okay, I don't feel that bad anymore. Like, birdies can get canceled out. Holing out from like 150 yards typically won't get canceled out, but it did in this situation. So, but yeah, 31, that is my lowest score on that side. I think my lowest score going into that on that side, I've shot 33 on that side quite a bit, but never lower than 33. So it was cool to it's always cool to kind of set a personal best. Setting a bad precedent, needing to have 3 hours on the patio to play good golf is not a precedent that we need to be setting. Financially and physically. So I think it's a very bad precedent to set. So
yeah, man. So yeah, I'm still on my trip during that, but I hear about it. That's awesome. And then I know you reunited with a longtime sort of friend / rival throughout your teenage years.
Yeah. So I think we've talked a little bit about Tane on here. When we kind of started was like shortly after, his really good year where he Monday qualified like 5 times or something like that.
Yep.
But we've talked about him a little on here. So, he spent a lot of times on mini tours. I think he just lost like conditional status, or he has conditional status in Korn Ferry, but he's completely done golfing now. He's retired. He's got an office job. Found out about 2 or 3 months ago that he had moved back to Cincinnati. And we were just like, oh, when we get some time or whatever in the summer, we'll play 9 or 18 or whatever we can get in. So we kind of hook up with another one of our, Kyle, we all went to high school together, but we all kind of took lessons together as kids. And so we met him out. He's a temporary member at Terrace Park here in Cincinnati. And so we go out, play 9 holes after work on Friday. It's impressive. Like it just like again, like he had a year where it's like, he was leading in the tournament, like but he still didn't like make it, quote unquote, I don't think he ever had like full status on the PGA Tour. So like that's what I would consider making it, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's just, and mind you, he's been working a desk job for like the last 4 months. So it's not like he's not out practicing every day or anything like that. And man, like out of the gate, he birdies the first 4 holes. And it was like pretty easy. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like super stressful to birdie the first, 4 holes. I think he ended up shooting 31. So yeah, it was, but it's funny. Just like what I always find interesting is, number one, putting is just way better, right? Like it's just, like, if he's missing a putt, it's like, I mean, it's always kick-ins, right? Like he's barely hitting it by the hole or barely missing it or whatever. He's not like hitting a 20-footer, 3.5 feet, 4 feet past and like having a knee knocker coming back like that. That just doesn't happen. And then like just inside 10 feet, I think he actually missed a pretty makeable birdie putt. But other than that, like he had some 8-footers and just like, bam, like he made par after pumping one out of bounds on a second shot on a par 5. He hit it, dropped it, hit his next shot to like, I don't know, it was like 6 feet or something. It was pretty close. And I think he made it for par, and it was like, dude, that's crazy. But the sound of the golf ball, like I think if I have a strength, like my ball striking can be really, really good. But it's just like that sound of like, damn, like that, like you almost like you're like, it sounds so good. Like it's like that's what the golf ball is meant to sound like off a club. But we had a blast catching up. It was really fun. I've got to return the favor here soon, so hopefully I'll bring him out to the Elks when he gets some time. But it was really cool to catch up and hear some stories, about like his 2020. I think that was his 2021 season when he Monday qualified 5 times. But he was talking about a story from Congaree when he was leading, and if you remember correctly, he almost got DQ'd overnight.
Yeah.
So because of someone called in and said he was spinning the ball on a drop.
On a drop, yeah.
And shout out to Harris English. He was playing with Harris, and apparently Harris like came to bat for him. He was like, dude, that did not happen. Like, and it was funny. He goes, slow motion typically is bad when you're trying to like prove something. He's like, the slow motion actually like did him a favor because like he like his hand went down and the ball was still sitting in the air like above his hand. So it's like you could tell he dropped it, right? Like not like spun it or anything like that or threw it down or whatever. But Harris English came to bat. I thought that was a really, really cool story because I think we kind of know it, right? But he's just like, as a no name, you do get a different treatment, right? Like they're not going to be as like, you don't see them week to week. Like some of these guys have relationships with the rules officials because it's week to week, right? Like they're there all the time. They probably know them on a first name basis. As someone that's like Monday qualifying into these events, like he didn't know, but he thought he was like, it was really cool that Harris came to bat for him. I'd not heard that story until I knew the whole DQ thing and all that. Like, he kind of went to bed on Saturday night with, just losing the lead on 18 and thinking he was going to get DQ'd out of the tournament. That's just wild. So, but yeah, it's just the other cool stories and just kind of talking about his travels and things like that. It was, talking about the club companies. It's like when you're doing well, people would just send you like 20 grand of stuff, and then he's like, when you're like out on injury, it's like you can't even get like a couple dozen golf balls sent from somebody. So it's wild, and I get it. It's a business, right? Like that I would almost assume those things would be true, but it's still like it's a dog. It's like just I can't imagine living that life of just like trying to grind it out and like pay your mortgage, doing that. Like I love golf, but man, that seems stressful. So
no doubt. Yeah, I thought that was awesome. It was cool. I know you sent us the one video of him hitting a shot, and yeah, I was like, just the pureness.
Yeah, he hit that shot to like 6 inches too. It was like on the first hole. But yeah, it was a lot of fun catching up with him, and I'm glad he's back in Cincinnati. He did actually put in for his amateur status. They told him it was going to be a couple years. I want to say just knowing what he made that 1 year and other stuff, like he's probably at like 400,000 in winnings between the Corn Ferry and the PGA Tour, and then he's probably got some other stuff on like Canada and the America's Tour. So they told him like 2 years, which that's kind of the timeline I've heard for most people that have made, more than like 10 grand, on those tours, is like you get about a year and a half too before they'll give it back to you. So it'd be very interesting to see him playing in some amateur tournaments here in a couple summers. Like right now I'd put his odds like winning Armet, right? Like, which is really hard, right? You got a lot of college, Division I college kids in it and stuff. But I would like literally set the line at like minus 600 for him to win the Met. Like,
yeah, I'd agree with you.
It's just again, people don't realize the spread between like, a kid that plays at UC who's really good at golf, and then like a guy that's done some, battled it out on tours around the world. It's just not the same. Just not the same level, and that kid from UC might get to that level, but right now, no. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, the best transition here, but I don't know where else we would squeeze this in. So I wanted to make sure we shouted out, your former teammate, official caddy of the Back Nine Six Pack, Jay Green, with another victory this week at the ISCO.
I mean, him and Fisk, like,
yeah, that's 2 wins.
Yeah, Sanderson Farms last year, and then this year, and what I love about Fisk? That dude just swings his swing. Like, it's not pretty. Yeah. I mean, have you seen his, like...
Yes.
It's not pretty, but it's like, dude, and I try to tell people this all the time, especially guys that are, like, stuck at, like, 7, 8 handicaps that are so hell-bent on, like, trying to be perfect, like, have a perfect swing. I'm like, dude, find something that works for you and just, like, go with it, right? Like, as long as you know where the ball is going. He's a perfect example of that. I mean, it's not pretty. It's pretty ugly, actually. But the guy just knows where it's going to go, and you just become a decent enough putter. That's kind of what happens. So
another playoff too.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, it was like a 3-hole playoff too. Yeah. It was kind of a marathon for sure. But that I saw that really cool. I don't know what course they played that at this year.
I forget what it's called. It's still in Louisville, but I can't remember it offhand. Unfortunately,
yeah, I couldn't remember it either. But I know it's moved around a couple times over the. When we went to it, it was at I can't remember.
Keene Trace,
yeah. So, but I knew it moved off that after Barbasol dropped out as a sponsor. So, and then they played it at like Louisville Country Club last year or something like that, or. It was a new course this year. So
yeah, this year was a Hurstbourne Country Club, the championship course.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yep.
Yeah,
but yeah, shout out to him. Another victory, really cool. Glad Jay's back on the bag. Like, seems like full time now. I'm sure that helps when you win the Sanderson last year. That you're probably going to pick up a full time gig after that. So
yeah. Hopefully they'll find their way up into some of the higher tier events here. We'll see.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. That tournament is not an exemption into the Open, correct?
I don't think so, no.
I didn't think so either, because I think the John Deere is like your last opportunity to like, and I think you like top 2 get to go to the Open or whatever out of
it's like
John
anyone
Deere.
who's not already qualified, the like next 2 or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. So doesn't get them in the Open, but win's a win. Like, don't care about the field. Max Homa was in the field this week, which was kind of crazy. So
definitely crazy. Yeah. Speaking of a win is a win, my only recent golf, Friday, I played in the Fairfield football outing at South Trace. Of course, we're familiar with. I just can't not play an outing there every year, I guess. We snuck out the win, scorecard playoff, done the right way, so we survived.
That's important.
Yeah. Play. Shout out to Joe. He's the new head boys golf coach there at the high school. So he got a team together. It was me, Nikki Sticks, and Gunth. So ultimate vibes. Great day. I don't think we made a putt outside of like 15 feet. We hit like too many good shots. Like, it was crazy.
That's not a bad problem to have.
No. I mean, as we transition to Stampede talk here in a minute, like so the first 4 or 5 full swings that I took were just absolute Waffle House low left balls. Was not looking good early.
And correct me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, but like it was 10 days ish.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't touched the club since Father's Day, so decently long layoff.
Okay, so yeah, it was probably like 15 days, something like that.
Yeah, because I didn't play league before we left either. So
that's right.
It was long layoff for me. But after, funny enough, we were, the course, 6 par 5.
Yeah,
usually the long drive hole. We unfortunately had to take a ball that was like in the trees and had to punch out. We were able to get like within chip range, but I hit a punch 3-wood under the trees that like kind of snapped me back. I don't know how to like. It's like I needed to just like know what it felt like to compress a ball a little bit. And from then on, it was pretty. Next hole, I made my like a glory hole, my own birdie on the 7, which was a really nice birdie. But all that to say, encouraged by Gun's play. He had a couple holes were lone birdies. Hole 11, I think we finally figured out the line and the club choice for that par 4. I was in the front bunker right in front of the green. Nick and I hit first. Gunth hits third, I think, and we were down there watching. And he landed it within like 3 feet of the flag, and it rolled out to like 20 feet. We didn't make the eagle, but like with a 4-wood. So yeah, it was. We kind of found some stuff on this day. He chipped in for eagle on 17 for us. It was
jeez.
Yeah, we had some pretty high highs. I mean, we were 4 under on the par 3s. Which is never bad there.
No, par 3s are so hard. Like,
yeah, we kind of we screwed around on a few of the par 4s, like with some easier shots. But in the end, we won. Felt good coming out of that about my game. We got league coming up. Playing a little practice round Friday. I know you're playing Scotty's money game.
Yep.
And then we roll right into the event itself. So, we talk about this every year, so I know people are probably tired of hearing it, but we do have actual format changes that are impactful this year.
Yes,
so
very impactful. Very impactful.
So bear with me as I talk a little bit here, just for anybody who's listening that hasn't heard this, but it's, pretty typical member format. Like we do matches, it's flighted. This year we've got 72 teams. We've got 12 flights, the fullest one they've had. 6 teams per flight. It's 90% of your lowest your lowest index from the last 12 months is kind of how it's handicapped. Let's see. For us, that means, if I'm doing this right, do you know, is Ryan playing off of that 3.5?
He is.
Oh, okay. So that's the one to watch because his handicap's up to a 6 currently. But for him, that means he's a 3.2. Explain the 90% rule for you as a plus. It moves you closer to 0?
No, moves me further from 0.
Okay, that's what I thought. But everything I read on the USGA was like saying I was like, there's no way that makes sense.
No, it moves me further from 0. And then, here's the other thing is like, we play a mix of blue and white tees, but they take the handicaps off the
whites. Yeah. So you kind of get double screwed in that regard. That's tough.
I'm not the lowest handicap in my flight.
No, that's, good news for you there. Mine with the 90% reduction, I'm going to be like a 6.6, and Gunth will be an 8.3. That's just my math. So you're closer to a +2 then, basically.
Yeah, I think that's what it'll end up being. That 31 kind of.
Yeah.
The 31 might have costed me, because here's the thing is, like, they round.
Yep.
The way they would round, like, if I could have stayed at like a +0.7 where I was, I think the rounding, I would have ended up giving back one less shot, but now not the case.
Correct. So yeah, within your flight, you play 5 matches. Every hole's a point, etc. You're trying to get as many points as you can. Flight winners move on to the shootout, which is we call the Stampede. And then there's also, they're keeping the wild card team this year, so there will be 13 teams that make it to the shootout. Wild card is the most Sunday points, just for anybody who's not in the know.
Which is there so people don't just roll over and they have a bad Saturday. They don't just roll over on Sunday and they actually battle it out, at least for one match, right? Like,
yeah,
so yeah, the wild card's good.
Yeah, 3 matches Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and then the shootout. Our shootout, we play, for us on our course, red 1, red 9, white 1, white 9. And then if there's any ties or playoffs need to be had, they go red 1 and then on through the red course to find a winner. But this is the interesting part. New format this year for the shootout. We are going to a true alternate shot. Yeah. Which I know you're already shaking your head about. True alternate shot. It's handicapped. You get 50% of your combined team 18-hole handicap across our red and white course rotation. So I think, let's start with just the format change. I know you're shaking your head. Why does this speak to you versus the best ball format?
I think, it was probably 2 or 3 years ago, when we kind of went out on the first hole after I lose a ball and then Ryan misses that putt. We almost got to hole 3 in the shootout, and it was like, we weren't going to make it past this hole. Like, you had I think you had a net, you had 3 net eagles, right?
Correct.
And it went into a chip off. Like, we would have had the hole out. Neither of us get a shot on that hole if we play best ball. Ryan might have gotten one this year, but regardless, we probably wouldn't get a shot on that hole. And it's not fair to the lower handicaps. And I'm talking like the bottom 3 probably flights. No chance. Like, you have to have the right things happen. Like, it's not just going to be you playing good golf, but like, you'd almost have to catch a break too. Like, to me, it's like, if you play good golf, you deserve to keep moving on. And I think with the old format, number one, like, if you were a lower handicap, chances are that was probably not going to be the case, right? Like, you could play really good golf. Heck, you could go 3 under and you would never, like, there was a pretty good chance that you were not making it past the 3rd hole because everybody pops on that hole. Yep. If you're outside, like, to say top 3 flights.
Yeah.
I'd say 4. Top 4 flights. Like, there might be a partner getting a pop and one not getting a pop. And then you're playing every team that, and hell, there was people getting 2 pops on that hole, which is just should never happen in a shootout like that. Ever. So
yeah. And then on top of that, you layer in just the added pressure of not having 2 balls in play, and you have a partner you're hitting shots with and for. Totally different ball game from a 2-man best ball.
I want blood.
I think you might get
blood in the streets. Like, that's what I want, and I think we're gonna get it because there is nothing. I don't think there's gonna be anything more entertaining than watching dudes grind out double putts for doubles that, like, might actually move them on to the next hole. Like, I'm very much here for that and very much ready for that. Like it is gonna happen. Like, I'm telling you, like, bogey probably definitely gets you out of the first hole. A double might even get you out of the first hole this year. Yeah. Not a lot of people getting pops on that hole. Like, and here's the thing. When you go to get a pop, like, even the higher handicaps, like, you're getting 1. You're not getting 2. an alternate shot. Like you're probably going to get one, and that's like the 7th handicap hole. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it is.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So for us, it's the 7th handicap hole. Red 1 is. Red 9 is the 5th handicap hole. So you might get a handful of guys or teams, I should say. White 1, you're still gonna get a decent amount, but again, different format, one ball in play.
And again,
a lot of guys
you're only going to get one shot, right? Like it's not, you're not going to get 2 pops in alternate shot.
No, I highly doubtful. You're getting 50% of your combined. So it'd be shocking almost if anybody got 2 there.
Yeah.
And especially if they advance that far, to be honest, at that point.
Yeah.
And then white 9 is the 7th on that side as well.
Gotcha. So yeah, not a lot of pops. There is a change in also the fact that, so we used to settle ties.
Yep.
By chip offs. The whole point of alternate shot too was to not have 26 balls out in the fairway, right? Like the point was speed. The first hole in years past would literally take almost 2 hours.
Yep.
And then you throw, like, especially if you got a chip off, it would be like an hour and 55 minutes, and just can't happen. It just makes the timeline too tight, especially if you have a rain delay that, you know, you're like, we need 3 hours and 40 minutes to do a shootout. Like that should not be a thing, right? Like, so even though alternate shot could get a little bloody, you've got 1 ball per team in play. That'll definitely speed things up. But then, like, they're not doing chip offs this year. So, like, you know, if there's 5 pars, you know, 3 bogeys and 4 doubles or 3 doubles, like, all those doubles would make it as well. Like that would be a tie for 9th. And they would make it on to the next hole. So you could actually you might only lose like 2, like really there's a chance to lose 4 teams, right? 13 down to 9. You could actually only lose like 2 teams after the first hole, depending on ties.
Yeah, it's top 7 in ties after the first, top 4 in ties.
I was thinking 9. Okay, so it's top 7 in ties. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, top 4 after the second, top 4 in ties, and then top 2 in ties after the third, and then you would go to the last hole. And if it's more than 2 teams, then you've got 3 or 4 teams that are moving on to a playoff, and it would go sudden death from there. So, yeah. And then if there's any ties for runners up at that point, once somebody wins, it sounds like there's going to be some sort of putt off to determine who the runner up is. So that would be the only scenario where you're not playing a hole to, continue moving on or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. And again, I like that too, because, you know, I'll be honest with you. It's like, you know, I love the show Big Break, right? But it's like, is that really how you determine the best golfer? You know what I mean? Like, who's playing the best? No, I would say no. You know what I mean? Like I want it to get played out on the actual holes. Now the whole runner up stuff, like it is what it is. Like we're trying to determine a champion, right? Like just so we know who the money goes to do the runner up and putt. I'm good with that. But like, I want it to be decided by, you know, actually playing it on the course.
Yep. I agree with that.
And there's 2 things that it's going to make it faster because just, again, not everybody's not going to have a ball in play, right? And number 2 is chances are I would be shocked if there's extra holes. Shocked.
You think so?
I just think the disparity in scores that can happen in alternate shot, you're less likely to have a tie coming into the last hole.
I see that point for sure. I kind of am thinking there's more likely to be a playoff just because I feel like there'll be a lot of pars.
I don't think there's going to be like. So it's funny. We were talking about this on Saturday, and you know, like we were kind of doing the math and like just the first hole, right? And we were like, all right, there's 13 teams that are going to play the first hole, right? I was like, I set the over, under, and pars at like 2.5. Like,
I probably said that wrong. I probably said that wrong. I meant more so there will be fewer birdies, I think is what I meant to say.
I mean, there's probably going to be a couple, maybe, but like, it's not going to be many. And really, your mindset, if you're in that, should be going out and be like, how many, like, we just need to make pars. Yeah. Pars will always, you could almost assume pars is unless something real crazy happens, like a par is going to move you on every single time. Like,
yeah,
every single time.
Yeah, and the way it's going to shake out with the handicaps, I don't think it'll be too big of a factor with pops on red one. Maybe for some of the lower
Yeah,
flights,
you might get like 3 teams that get a pop. But that I think that's the most nerve-wracking hole for everybody, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you're not in a groove of like hitting in front of 200 people. Like, I think once you get to the second hole, you're like, all right, you like nerves calm down a little bit. But like, even if they're getting pops, like every day of the week, I would love to play 220 handicappers and me and my partner an alt shot.
right.
I'd give them 2 and still feel really pretty good about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
So I think it's a good change for just to kind of feel like everybody kind of feels like they got a chance. There are some probably higher handicappers that are like, I got no chance now. And it's like, yeah, you're still going to get shots, right? Like, you have more of a chance than we did in like a lower handicappers did with the old format. Because like I said, when we won, we just kind of got lucky. Like, we had a guy hit it in the road, right? And it's like, and then it really only came down to like 2 teams. And it was like, so we got lucky on that third hole of the year we won. And I say that because like, like we just did, right? Like, we only made par and we made it up to the final. So it's kind of one of those things, like, we got lucky. But like the last 2 or 3 years, like, net birdie, net eagle was like the bare minimum of what you needed on that third hole. And I think it's more fair now where it's like, hey, go out and make par. Like, you've got a legit chance at making it through to the last hole. So
yeah. And I mean, it with the alt shot format, one ball in play, like, it's there's going to be people that hit it out of bounds on one. There's going to be people that hit it out of bounds on white one. Like, that's going to happen most likely. So, and then there's some real strategy in terms of like picking who you want taking those 2 tee shots versus the the ones on the 9. So yeah, it's definitely a lot more like strategy, a lot more, just kind of like you said, it's more golf, right? Like, it's you're playing actual holes the entire time.
Definitely strategy. I mean, I thought we were pretty dead set on what we were going to do is if we do make it to that point. The more we kind of thought about it, it was like, and again, I'm not hitting driver in alt shot. You know what I mean? It's like, It's one thing to do that in best ball and you still got a ball in play, but I will not be doing that in alt shot when we just need to make pars. But, it's kind of one of those things, like, I know Ryan doesn't like the third hole tee shot that much. And I'm like, I love that tee shot. So it's like, it's like, do you just let me? But then it's like, I kind of want a wedge in my hand on the first hole. Like, let me take that pressure of knocking it on and then, him lagging it up kind of thing. So, because I'm probably a slightly better, I'm probably a better iron player than he is, especially with wedges in my hand. Like, I kind of want that. But so there's definitely some strategy to kind of talk through and like, there's probably some give and take, right? Like, as far as like, okay, just so we can get a wedge in my hand on one, like he might just have to suck it up and hit a drive on the third hole. So, yeah, definitely interesting.
Yeah. So are you guys not, you don't have to, I don't know if you're playing it close to the vest here or not, but are you locked in or are you still debating?
I think at this point we're probably pretty locked in on him hitting the tee shot on one. I think it's just so important, and not that say that he won't be able to hit the ball on the green from 115 yards. Like, I just think like from a standpoint of like, okay, who can put it closer? And it's like, okay, I can. Okay, then we need you hitting the second shot. Because really, like, for him, he's probably just poking a 5-iron out there, right? Like, he's not trying to, hit driver or, hit a 3-wood or something like that. Like, it's kind of just playing a little out to the left and like just get it past that red tree, right? Like, so it's kind of like a pretty low stress shot from that standpoint, where like the second shot kind of coming in, you got people hooting and hollering behind the green. Like, I want that pressure, right? Like, I want the club in my hand when it comes to that. So I think we're pretty set on that, but it's kind of one of those things you start thinking about, like, damn, like I kind of want to hit the tee shot on 3, but like, it's one of those things that, you definitely definitely think about different scenarios for sure. Now, do you guys know, like, okay, this is what we're doing if it gets to that point?
We have not had this conversation yet. I've been on vacation. He was, there was a point in time we weren't even sure he was officially playing or not. So like we haven't even gotten to that point yet. But I am curious from your perspective as an outsider, what you think, would be a potential good strategy.
So I would with the shot shape on 3, the third hole, I would want you hitting the tee shot on 3.
Yeah, that's kind of like,
I think it's a more natural, like you're you can kind of play that draw and kind of let it take the hill and roll out. Whereas like I know it's a longer hole and he is longer than you. I just think if it does come to that, like I would want you probably hitting the tee shot with your natural draw on that hole. So given that, like I want, you'd probably be hitting on 1. And I'll tell you, if there's a strength to Guns game, you get him to like 80 yards. He loves that, like just like little pitchy 52 he likes hitting.
Yeah.
He's got that thing. That shot scares me to death every time I play with him, but like he's just got the clock down, like, and he just hits it a good distance every time. So I don't hate that. It's not like it's like, oh man, he's not a good wedge player. I think that's a good spot for you guys to kind of be in.
It's kind of what I was thinking too, and it's for a couple reasons. One, like his shot shape, we don't want anything leaking right on that hole on 3, but also with his length, like he might just hit it too far that we get into those trees up on the right too, even if he hits a good one. So plus we're probably getting a pop on that hole. So even if I turn one over into the trees left, like we've got a little bit of a safety net to still be able to make, a net par at least.
That's interesting. Do you actually think you would get a pop on the hole? Because I would guess you probably would not.
It's the number 2 handicap on that side.
Which one? Oh, 1 white. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You definitely would get one there. Yeah.
So
and here's the other thing for him. 9 red.
Yep. This is the other thing I was just gonna say.
His length, like,
yeah,
you kind of gets even if he pulls it, it gets past everything. So, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, just let him go up there and let it rip. It's like there's really, other than maybe getting behind that white tree on the right side, like you don't worry about anything on the left. He's going to hit it past all those trees over there.
Yeah, where I tend to land it on both hole 9s, we'd probably be in an upslope with a little bit longer club for him.
Yep.
Versus he'd have me up over those hills and on the flats with a wedge in my hand. So that's kind of like my overall thought. I'll talk to him more about it, but I think we're leaning that way for sure.
And that's kind of the thinking with me and Ryan too, is like, I'm not like way longer than him, but I don't really end up behind those trees often. Like I can get it past them too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think those are probably like perfect distance for him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like one of those things, like I don't really have unless it's a pretty big miss right, I don't really have a lot to worry about on that hole. Like I can kind of get it past those trees, and then you get 50, 60 yards down below there. Like even if it's a downslope, it's like it's better than being behind a tree hitting a punch shot, kind of thing. So
for sure.
But I think that's probably what I would pick for you guys. Just kind of thinking through.
Yeah, we'll have some conversations coming up, but I think we're leaning that way as well. All right, anything else on the format stuff?
Nope.
Cool. Quick rundown of schedule, just because I'm sure everybody cares, but at least for us, we get to talk about our fun week here. So Thursday, Champions Dinner. Going to be fun. Got to wear a jacket for the picture.
Yep. The Hound Dog picked out the menu.
Yeah.
Him and John the winners from last year picked out the menu.
Should be
Sounds
fun
like we're
there.
having ribs.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll have to ask Ryan how the Forchetta's ribs are. I know he's a rib night special guy, so maybe he can let us know. Yeah, well, hey, at least I got my invite, because in the booklet leading up, Gunther and I have been erased from history. It's I think Connor and Derek apparently have won the Stampede twice without anyone knowing. Yeah.
Well, I just said they accidentally erased you and just forgot to put the asterisk next to it. So
yeah, as long as I'm there, give me an asterisk, So just put me there. Then Friday night, of course, we've got the putting contest, the long drive competitions, and then our Calcutta I'm curious to see, some more teams in. Is anybody not going to buy their team? If maybe we get some more teams in the pot and see.
I think we're going to have some teams not buy themselves. Like, I think there was a handful of teams that kind of like got convinced to play.
Yeah.
And they might just be like, well, I don't really want to, buy the team for $300 or whatever.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to, you and I can talk behind some doors here, maybe make some investment opportunities happen.
Yeah, and kind of, ease our risk a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it was so funny. When I was up there today, I saw Connor and I saw Derek, and they were paying, putting their money in for the Calcutta or whatever. Because how ours works is like you can pre-buy your team.
Yeah.
You get until 6:00 Friday to pre-buy your team for $300. And he was like, and Connor comes up and he's like, I'm buying my team so you don't, siphon off our money even more, because about 3 years before they won it, they did not buy their team. I ended up with them. They ended up making the Stampede or the shootout. We're behind one green, and I don't think his wife knew how it worked. Like,
yeah.
So I had already won because they won their flight. Like, I had already won like $680. I bought them for, I don't even think I paid full price for them. I think I bought them for like $220 or something like that.
Yeah.
And his wife's behind the green, like, oh, I'll buy the team off you for like $300. So you'll make $75. I'm like, I've already made more than that. Like, it's got to be some kind of premium now at this point. They're in the shootout. They ended up, I don't even think they made it past the first hole that year. But
are you sure that wasn't the year they came in second?
No, it was not. No, because
Okay.
I only won like $690 or $680
Gotcha.
on a $225 bet or something like that. But she was trying to buy it for just slightly over what I already paid for it, and I'd already won that money. Like, that $680 was not going to get taken away from me. So it was like, no, the starting point here for you to buy this team now is like $900. Like, that's kind of. That's kind of what we're kind of looking at. And she just backed away from it. It was a good decision on her, by her, because like I said, I don't think they made it out of the first hole that year.
Yeah.
The next year is when they came in second. So,
gotcha. Yeah. So that's everything leading up to, and then Saturday, the matches start. We've got 3 on Saturday, obviously pari-mutuel betting, ton of fun getting in on that. And then Sunday, 2 matches, pari-mutuel bets. You got the 100-yard shootout. And then the Stampede with you're allowed to bet on that as well. So lots of opportunity this weekend.
Yep.
We'll put it that way.
A lot of betting opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I've already got some side bets with like point totals against other people in other flights. So it'll be,
hell yeah.
I always do it. A couple people, I might stretch it out to like 4 or 5 people this year. But we'll see. But I do like those bets because it's like we're not going to play each other, but it's cool to kind of, follow it along and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's a lot of fun. I hadn't even considered that. I might have to get in on some of that action elsewhere as well. Yeah, I always like to keep our records over the years. A lot of fun to kind of look back on and just see where we've been and all that. So updated them all today. You guys won in 2020. We won in 2022. Feels like so long ago, both of those, to be honest. You also had 2023. You guys did make the shootout. That's the famous drive on Red 1. You've won the flight 2 out of 6 years. You are 18-6-4 lifetime in matches. Really, really solid. Last year, a little, maybe one of your more down years, 2-2-1, but you still came in second in the flight.
Yeah.
Us, like I said, we won in 2022. The year before that, we made the shootout and we lost on the 3rd hole. So we technically, I guess you could say, came in 4th, however you want to describe that. We've also won the flight twice out of 5 tries. We are 12-5-6, major bounce back last year. We went 3-0-2, had it right in front of us to make the shootout, and kind of some post rain delay pants shitting happened.
That's what happened to us too. So
yeah. And we wound up second in our flight as well. So a couple close calls for both of us last year. I feel like both of us felt like we had a real chance to do it, and just kind of, like I said, just kind of blew it a little bit in the last match or so. Yeah.
So I think going back to the drive year, the past 2 years, so 24 and 25. So we've lost the flight by a combined half point. So the one year we actually tied, but lost our head-to-head with them. So we lost our flight that way. And then we lost by a half point last year on our last match. Like really our last 3 holes, we had a 3-putt on 8 and then tied 9. And that was pretty much all she wrote. But then like even going back further than that, we've never lost our flight by a whole point.
Oh,
never.
Yeah, I mean,
we've always been within a half a point of making it or, but it's funny when we do make it, like we usually win the flight by like 2.5, like we're kind of out in front. We last year was tough because we didn't get off to a good start. We kind of went in Sunday like pedal to the metal, or we're going to be drinking in the last match kind of situation. And we came out and won, I think, our first match 7-2 or 7. It wasn't 7.5, 1.5. We had a chance to do 7.5, 1.5. We ended up winning 7-2 and brought us right back into it. But yeah, it's just tough, man. Like these matches, even thinking back to the ones we won, like all the ones we won, it's like there's so many in there. It's like just 1 or 2 shots go the other way, and it's even 1 shot goes the other way, like we probably lose it, right? So it's crazy how small the margins are in some of these matches.
Yeah, I was especially in your guys' flight where, I mean, like I just said, you were 2-2-1 and came in second by a half point. Like it's so tight up there. It's kind of, it basically comes down to, do you get that one match that's like 6.5, 2.5, or do you not?
Yeah. And actually there's never, it was so crazy until about 2 years ago, our flight never had blowouts. Like maybe a 6.5, 3.5 or 6.5, 2.5, maybe, but most of the time it was like 6-3 was like the most that you were getting, right? And the last 2 years we've just had multiple 7-2s. Like we were one of them last year. Hell, the year before that we had a 7.5, 1.5. Like that never happens in our flight. Usually it's like you get you come up and it's like 5-4, 5-4, 4.5, 4, 4.5, 4.5, and it's like it does get a little tight. And that's where it's like I said, the margins are so tight. Like you're winning by a hole. It's like that so your match is coming into the last hole like actually needing to like tie. You know what I mean? Like it's it's very thin margins. And I think really that's probably the case for like the first, like the top 7 or 8 flights, right? Like there's good enough golfers in there that like people aren't going to kind of like crap down their leg. Like a lot of it's very small margins on how you're winning these matches.
Yeah, I mean, we have more ties than losses, which I think probably speaks a little bit to that too.
100%.
It's just a grind. Yeah, I think for us and kind of like that 4th, 5th flight range, depending on the year, is like it really matters where you fall within the flight. Definitely. If you're at the top of it, you're generally getting popped on. If you're at the bottom, you might have a slight pop advantage. Yeah. So that I think we've seen, when we're towards the bottom of the flight, it's usually a little bit, I don't want to say easier path, but it's helpful that way. Yeah,
100%. And and that's the one thing I always say about our flight is because the combined handicaps are so low. Like you do have guys that'll get 2 or 3 in a match, right? Yeah. The problem is like there's so many good golfers. Like you can par net birdie, but that doesn't mean you're going to win the hole. Like, you know what I mean? So that's why I think they become super tight because it's like, oh, I'm getting a pop here. You go 4 for 3, but then it's like the other team has 2 guys birdie, right? Like it's like, so you're tying a bunch of holes that way. So, and usually like the partners, like never is there, I don't think I ever remember a situation in any of our matches that we've been a part of where it's like, both of the other team is out of the hole, right? Like there's going to be in the hole, like with a legit chance to actually win it for their team kind of situation. So
yeah, for sure. So this is a question we do every year, kind of like the prep for the Stampede, what's your form like coming in? Anything different? I know you've been playing a decent amount. You've got some practice in. Anything different you're doing this year or any of that?
No, I really like how I'm hitting the ball right now. It's kind of one of those things. It's like, this is obviously why I don't play this game for anything other than what we play for, like fun. Because if I could just pair a halfway competent putter right now with the way I'm hitting the ball, I mean, we saw it. Like I did it for 9 holes and shot 31. Like if I could, just the way I'm hitting the ball, it's like the ceiling is high ceiling. And it's funny is like I've never been like the greatest putter in the world, but like I'm streaky enough to know that like if something, and I kind of found something today, but if I like find something I really like and I start, I'm a guy that like could go out and like start really making a lot of putts, and it's like, and it lasts for like a week. Right. So it's like kind of one of those things. I'm a very streaky putter in that manner of like, to me, it's like I feel more comfortable playing golf that way than like if I was struggling with full swings right now. Like,
oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because like, here's the thing: as bad as I'm putting and as good as I'm hitting the ball, like I can go out there and make a fuck ton of pars, like hit a lot of greens. And honestly, even in our fight, like if you're hitting a lot of greens and you got a lot of looks, like even if you're not making them, like that puts a ton of pressure on your opponents, right? Because you're just like, fuck, dude, we played 6 holes and like this dude hasn't been outside like 25 feet and he's been on every green, right? Like that puts a lot. They just know like if they make one bad swing, like they're losing a hole,
right?
Kind of situation. So I feel, whereas like last year I was struggling full swing a little bit coming in, and I'm like wasn't super comfortable over stuff. Full swing wise, was not getting off the tee well last year at this point. I feel more comfortable playing golf how my game is right now. I wish I could make more putts, and hopefully I do, but I feel more comfortable like, all right, let's just go out there and hit 9 greens in a match and see what happens kind of situation. So
yeah, I mean, I can attest to that. I think I've played more with you this year than recent ones, just with how life is broken over the last few years. And at least twice I remember playing with you where you've had more putts than full swings in a round.
Yeah.
So like, and I've, coming off the 18, like seeing how you've been frustrated, and I'd be like, my God, he must have shot like 78 today. And then you'll be like, oh no, 72. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah. And honestly, and other than the Wednesday round last week when I played 18 holes, like I hadn't even shot. The only round I had over 72 was like the first round of the club championship, and I followed it up with a 70 the next day. So like I really haven't shot over 72 much this year, which again, even putting as bad as I have, like I'm hitting like 14, 15 greens around. I'm a good enough chipper the golf ball that like, even if I'm putting bad, like I can chip it close enough to not have to like worry about making like a, an 8-footer. But I'm hitting like fifth. I mean, I went back and I think it was like 5 out of my last 6 rounds, I've hit more than 14 greens, like in 18 holes. Like that's some, that's some pretty good ball striking. Like that's, I'll take it. I will take that every day of the week again, because in the format we're playing this weekend, like if I'm hitting that many greens, it just puts a just slight more pressure on your opponent, right? Like just knowing that they're like, fuck, he's going to be on every green. Like now he's not making putts, but like, and it just adds to them. Like they feel like they have to hit every shot perfect leading up to the green. And that just puts added pressure on people. So,
yeah. And I know Ryan's handicap situation is what it is, but like I always, with you having that high of a floor, I just know how much of a gamer that Ryan is, and he will be able to grind his way through whatever situation. So like I feel good about you guys going into this either way.
And he's such a good, we talk about how we argue like married couple and stuff like that. But like when he gets in like these situations, like a tournament situation, his putting is underrated. Like I don't think people realize, specifically at the Elks, like the dude can roll the flat stick. Like there's not many times like, I know he missed that putt a couple years ago or whatever, but like if he's got a 7-footer, half the time I'll fucking walk it back to the cart. I'm like, he's making this. Like I'll walk him. He does not miss many of those when it matters. Like he really doesn't. And, so even if he's not playing great, like he can get that ball rolling on the green pretty well. And that kind of feeds, if he feels like he doesn't have to hit every shot perfect, he's putting well, and which he usually does putt really well. That does help him. Like he's an underrated putter. He's very good with a putter in his hand.
Yeah, I know you like to say I'm the best putter at the Elks, but I would say Ryan's the best par putter at the Elks.
Yeah.
He has a tendency, he'll run a lot of birdies by, and it's because he's not afraid of the 5-footer coming back.
No. And what's funny is like I used to, like, early on in our partnership, I used to get so nervous about them. Like, why are we running these by like 3.5, 4 feet? But it's like you see him not miss any of them. You're like, okay, like I can live with that aggression, knowing that he's not going to miss any of these, right? And he's had a couple moments. He's missed some big ones in the last couple years, but man, to me, honestly, it's like, he missed one in our last match last year on hole 8 that ended up costing us. But it's like, I'm so confident in his ability, dude. I was like back by the cart when he hit the putt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I thought, I was like, no, we're going to go into 9, just needing a tie, and we're going to be in the shootout. And, he ended up missing it. But that's how much confidence I have. But yeah, like you said, like the 3.5, 4 foot par putt, like he doesn't really miss a lot of those.
No, for sure. Okay, so flipping it over to me, I am in like such a different space than I was last year. Last year, well documented here, I was doing the stack, got good gains out of it, was hitting driver as good as I've ever hit driver.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Honest. Yep.
But what I continuously found myself struggling with was like taking that speed off and just being able to hit like a 130-yard shot. I can't tell you how many times last year where I hit myself into like a wedge territory that was kind of between wedges and just airmailing greens on repeat. And it, truly like all summer long, it was what bit me and stopped me from, making the scores better than they should have been. This year, I have not done any speed training. I just have not had the time. Been a busy year. But I have been with, Zach doing junior league. I've been able to get up and hit some range balls while he's practicing. I was telling Nick on Friday, I was like, you know what I'm trying to do? I'm early adopting the UNC game. That's where the golf game's heading here. I have found a pretty good, like, I just got to keep the ball in play is what I'm understanding, which, I should have realized that a while ago, but like I'm hitting more greens this year. Iron game is a lot better than it was last year. I'm not hitting it as far off the tee. But I've found sort of like a like 4th gear instead of having to go to 5 gear all the time, where I'm pretty comfortable. Like if I need to hit a fairway, if I just need to hit a center of a green, where like, I feel good about my yardages and what I can get out of certain clubs, where I didn't feel that way last year. Last year was like, all right, I'm going to rip this drive. Great. Now it's like, oh, I have an off-speed wedge, or like I need to flight something or whatever, and I just couldn't freaking do it. So it's really weird. Aside of those first 3 holes at the outing on Friday, I hit it really nice. So I feel pretty good, like form-wise, despite, the 2-week layoff or whatever. And, that's really been the only difference. And speaking of the practice, is like, not doing the speed training, but still using the stack system, doing practice that way has been super helpful, just to like, I've repped a ton of irons and like know what certain swings feel like, what yardage it's going to go, things that I haven't done, in prep for this in the past. So I don't know. I feel like that part of the game has gotten to a spot where, I feel a lot better about just hitting more greens and having more looks and making more pars that way.
Absolutely.
And then from the Gunth perspective, this, I like to give him shit the last few years, because it always seemed like, oh, he's got a trip, he's got a wedding, he's got all this different stuff, and he wasn't playing golf because of that stuff. Well, this year he's definitely played the least amount of golf coming into the Stampede, with the baby, with work, stuff like that. Just said he bought a new house, like had a lot going on. So, I was a little worried until, like I said, we played Friday, calmed my nerves about on that front. He's, seems to be in at least the same position he's been in the past several years.
Yep.
And I think, if I can provide more of that steady hand than I have in the last couple of years, utilize his volatility and his distance and spots and things like that, we should have a pretty good chance. So yeah, I don't know. I feel better than I did last year. I was feeling, like I said, I was feeling great about driver, because like that had always been the weak spot in my game. And it's like,
sure. Yeah,
I improved that, but my handicap got worse. So like,
yep.
This year it feels a little different.
Yeah, what's funny is like I took a leap in yardage off the tee probably like 3-4 years ago, and I remember vividly struggling from the spots that I was in. Like
Mhm.
I'd have 50 yards. I'm like, dude, I'm like, I fucking have no idea how to hit the shot. Like it's just not something I've ever had to do. And then it like after like a year or so, like I finally like kind of started adapting to it and like honestly kind of, I don't want to say adding shots to my repertoire, but like I'm a very big like watch a video and it's like, oh, I'll go out and try this. And then it's like, and you find enough things with like wedges that you're like, all right, I can do this. And it kind of helps me hit these shots better. But it was a year process of like getting used to hitting some wedges in spots that I was like, I'm not used to being here kind of thing. So yeah, I fully understand where you're coming from on that perspective.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm not saying like I'm, all of a sudden I'm hitting 9-iron like 140 now. Like
Yeah,
if I need to get 200 yards out of 5-iron, I can still do that. Like that's
yeah.
and it's comfortable though. It's just I'm not doing the maybe I lost from what I was at last year with driver. I might be down like 10 yards, but I just don't need those 10 yards in this format or at this course. So
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I guess that leads us to predictions. I know sounds like we're both pretty confident. Are we going to be playing in the shootout together this year finally?
I hope so. I hope so. Our flight's going to be interesting. We're adding a new team that has not played in it since we've been there. So shout out to Kyle Hodges and his partner Eddie. They are in it this year. God bless him for playing in it. It sounds like he's going to give up like 3 aside every match because he's a +3 right now. But again, they've won our 2-man match play 2 years in a row, so they are a formidable team. So they just kind of yin and yang it out there pretty well. Like even if Kyle's giving back a shot, like Eddie just finds a way. And we played them 2 years ago in the 2-man match play. It was like the 2 holes that either Kyle was giving back a shot or like he was like, and I think he got in a bunker on a par 3. It's like Eddie birdies. Like it's like, damn, dude. It's like the one window we thought we had. It's like Eddie kind of closes it pretty fast. So no, they're a good team. They're in it this year. So we've got quite a few plus handicaps. I mean, look. I just think again, we're kind of 2 people. You just throw us into the competition fire. I think I like our chances. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to do it, but I do like our chances when we get in there. So,
yeah. I think that's for Gunther and I last year was just like not last year, the year, but 2024 was such a like down year compared to what our record and how we'd finished in every year before that it was nice to like come back last year and have a real shot and do well in our matches. So kind of similar to you guys, obviously less golf skill, but like we just enjoy the competition of it.
Yep.
You just get out there and you just find a way hole to hole. And I think we'll have a good showing this year. Hopefully no weather. We need that because there is a wedding scenario. We're not going to talk about it, but we need to get these matches in. I'll just say it that way.
Yep.
God, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think our big thing is that I've been like way into like I'm listening to Mike Leach's memoir right now, and he talked about like swinging a sword. Like you got to remember how to swing your sword, right? That's kind of like the mantra that we're kind of taking into this year. Like we gotta get back to swinging our sword the right way, right?
Yeah.
It feels like the last couple years we just get into certain situations in 1 or 2 matches where it's like we kind of forget who we are, and so hopefully this year that changes.
Yeah, I gotta find some sort of similar mantra or something for Gunther. I think last year we did I was kind of into the Marshawn Lynch stuff last year. That was my lane. So I know I'm gonna get got, but I'm gonna get mine more than I get got though. It's kind of where we were last year. So we'll see what I can come with in the next few days. Okay, well, I guess the one downside of Stampede Week, it always seems to fall during the Open Championship, which is my second favorite major, and we just never get to watch really much of it. Not going to go full draft, full preview here, but I did want to talk a little Open before we head to the patio. playing at Royal Birkdale in Southport this year. I read a little bit up on the course just because they haven't played here since 2017. They're on the coastline along the Irish Sea. Always cool to be coastal. Something cool with Birkdale that I kind of forgotten is it's like the fairways are actually kind of flat, but it's like the dunes all around kind of makes it its own like little stadium setup, but like in a natural environment, which is pretty sweet. It's a par 70, 7,200 yards. The par threes are cool because it's, I get annoyed when par three lengths are like the same.
Yeah, they're all like Birkdale, 190 to 200 kind of situation.
Yeah, this Birkdale's 151 all the way up to 241. So like really testing the bag.
Wide
on the
variety.
Yep. Yeah. And then the 18th hole is a par 5 for members, but it's playing like 508 par 4 for the tournament, which is always cool with how they have the grandstands and stuff set up. It's like a true stadium atmosphere on the 18th and for the walk at the last hole of the Open. Something interesting I had forgotten. A lot of these courses you see like these, old classic style clubhouses or whatever. Well, Birkdale has an Art Deco style clubhouse that literally looks like the upper deck of like a cruise ship or a steamship or something. So like pay attention to that when you're watching. You get glimpses of the clubhouse expecting, something like what you see at Muirfield or the Village of St. Andrews, like if you're at the old course. No, it's like completely different, a lot more modern look to an Open Championship clubhouse. And then something else that struck me, I didn't realize, do you know the hitters that have won at Birkdale?
You know what? I meant to look it up because I was curious just for betting purposes, but I do not. I didn't get the chance to look it up.
I mean, just listen to this name or the list of names here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Opens have been held at Birkdale. 2017, our king, Jordan Spieth. Pretty memorable one. That's the go get that. The, Matt Kuchar's eating the sandwich while Jordan's over in where the cart or the club, the golf club manufacturers are all set up. 2008, Padraig, this is when he was on the run in the absence of Tiger. 98, Mark O'Meara. 91, Ian Baker Finch. Now we get into it. 1983, Tom Watson. 76, Johnny Miller. 71, Lee Trevino. 65, Peter Thompson. 61, Arnold Palmer. And in 54, Thompson won it his first of 2 at Birkdale. Pretty elite group of players that have won at Birkdale.
Yeah, it's. I knew. The only one I remembered was the Jordan Spieth one. That's the one I remembered. I would have never guessed the other. Like Arnold Palmer or anything like that. But that is a true hitters list right there.
Yeah, just really quality. Ball strikers. Spieth obviously has gone a little haywire since, but at the time, all these guys were like primo control of their golf ball players. So, with that said. You like anybody to win? Anybody stand out to you?
I just get this like underlying feeling that it's going to be like with all those hitters on there, it's going to be something like super underwhelming, like name wise, like pretty underwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of was talking, Zach was playing with our buddy Kent's son last night in junior league and him and I were talking about it a little bit. And I was kind of like, feels like we're just kind of due for like an off the wall European or something.
Yeah.
It's been a while since something like that. That's kind of
what I was thinking, honestly, like something like some DP World Tour guy that like not a lot of people know. I'm pretty sure he's in the field, but Chikara, like he would be like the off, now he's a hitter, but like he did some live stuff for a little bit, kind of made his way back in. But he's one that like I could easily see. He is
in the field, and he's 160 to 1. So if you want to get in on that,
dude, he played well this past week, right? He's a hitter. Like he's won 3 times since he's been back from live, I believe. He's just I could see him. He was like kind of when I was thinking about off the wall people, he was. Earlier today, he was kind of the one that kind of came up just because he just played well, and he's kind of been on a heater since he's came back from live. So yeah, I would that would be my pick, like off the wall, kind of situation.
somebody that pops up a lot on the European tour, I don't know how he finished last week, but he was playing well at the Scottish, is Jordan Smith.
Yeah.
So a guy like that feels like it could be, if you're looking way down the board. But, Kent and I were kind of talking, and I think we kind of came to the consensus of like, it just feels like Matt Fitzpatrick.
Or Alex.
Alex stinks. I took him in one and done last week and he blew the cut. So actually, you know what? That's a reason for everybody to go ahead and get on him now because, my stink is off of him. But yeah, when I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's kind of like Matt has just been like, probably like consistency wise, like one of the 2 or 3 best guys this season.
Yeah.
And, feels like he's primed for a second major at this point. And it's weird with Scotty coming off a cut because obviously that's been a rare event for the last few years. But obviously there's always the caveat that Scotty could just dominate.
Well, I was gonna say, what's the chances of that? Like, not even just like him missing a cut twice in a row. I'm talking like, what's the chances he comes out and lays a stinker like that 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah,
being shocking.
I mean, this is it. I hate the club change situation because I would be all about Justin Rose this week.
Yeah.
I think I'd love to see him win an Open. He's only got the US Open on the resume. Him winning an Open would be like a good like career arc.
Yeah, kind of like what, obviously before all this stuff, but like what it kind of did for Phil, right? Like kind of one of those now everybody thought that was going to be his last one and he ended up winning, later on at Kiowa, but it was kind of like, damn, this is a good, like, kind of send-off major, maybe his last one. Henrik Stenson, kind of same situation. Like, always seemed to underachieve in majors, and he got an Open championship at a relatively older age. Like, I'll say this: the one thing the Open does always provide is like someone that's an quote unquote older guy, kind of always seems to be there. We've had the Tom Watson situation not that long ago.
Darren Clark won the Open.
Clark wins. Like it always kind of, and I think the biggest thing is because it's going to be playing firm. Mav McNeely did a video today, and like the ball is bound, like it's rock hard. So like 7,200 yards, like at Augusta, right, is like it's going to play all that, right? 7,200 yards on a course that's running out 60 yards. Like all of a sudden, like, you're like, all right, can a 46-year-old handle 6,800 yards? Absolutely. Right. It's just like that extra 400 or 500 yards. If it's actually playing that distance is tough for these older guys to kind of compete, but like it definitely does lend. And I think links golf really is an advantage to older guys that have the experience that can kind of like think their way around a golf course. Yeah. Rather than just like bludgeon it to death.
I mean, that's, in 2017, like Kuchar, perfect example of that. I mean, I know he lost, but yeah, I think that I'm going to freaking dabble in Justin Rose because I can't help myself. Also, it's the World Cup final on that Sunday. Don't know if England's going to be there or not, but could be an electric day for the English.
Yeah. Yeah, it really could. Yes, it could.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm leaning Matt Fitzpatrick, and I'm gonna mess around with Justin Rose. But a lot of times these majors, I'm looking at the top of the board. I've been a big Rory guy for the last few years. That's worked out with the 2 Masters, but I'm not. I don't really feel. I mean, Matt Fitzpatrick's 4th favorite right now. Kind of crazy, but he's still like 20-1.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. This is an oddity for me. So I already told you Chikara. Like I really like him. If I'm taking one pick off the wall, he's probably my guy. But if I had to go like, all right, what's like realistic? Rory showed some flashes yesterday. I think it was like a back 9 31 or 32. He had all that added pressure last year with it being at Portrush and all that. It feels like maybe a possible bounce back Open for him. Maybe just put way too much pressure on himself last year. Not as much pressure not being in Ireland. I could see. I would like Rory this week.
Man, look at that! Look how the tides have turned here.
It just feels like there was so much pressure last year for him to play well with it being at Portrush. that it's like, all right, this feels like he could maybe bounce it back. And like I said, he played really well yesterday. He did. Did you see the video from yesterday? Like he laid the sod.
Yes.
I was like, God, dude. Hey, one of us for
One
sure.
of us. I'm shocked. You're not going to take the third favorite Tommy Fleetwood in his
No,
hometown?
Tommy's not going to win. I say that and he'll probably end up winning, but or if I call him soft to Sherman, I'm sure he'll end up winning. But I would never do that to Tommy.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Yeah. Hopefully we can catch some of that between all the golf we'll be playing. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the Open. We can head over the patio now. I can go first. If you
go
don't mind. I think the Tim Ream performance stemmed a lot of questions on social media, a lot of this or that type questions, some more appropriate than others. But I saw one today that, because I'm a boy dad and you are a girl dad, felt like an appropriate question to ask. The this or that in this situation is, would you rather have a 6 Instagram story a day daughter or an upside down big letter hat son?
Fuck those letter hats, dude. I want my daughter addicted to fucking Instagram. I couldn't take it, dude. There's no way. And the problem is I'd have to make fun of my son. That's like, I would make fun of him every time. Like, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. No way. Give me the daughter posting 20 times on Instagram. I don't give a crap.
Yeah. Maybe this is just because you've got the experience with the girls and I've got experience with the boys. Well documented on this podcast, the shrink the game narrative is where we're at. We hate the big letter hats. We hate the upside down hats. We hate all of it. But I feel like that could be coachable enough. And I don't think I'd have the intestinal fortitude to deal with my daughter posting on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever that much. I don't think I could do it. So I would begrudgingly but I'll take the hat and I'll just try my best to coach him through it. I think it's just where I'm at.
I think it is. So like, here's the point behind it is like, I do think I like where your head's at, because you can shame your son out of wearing that hat.
Yeah.
Like eventually the shame's going to soak in and he's just not going to wear it anymore. It'd be very hard to shame a girl out of posting 6 times on her Instagram story.
Yeah, you're gonna turn her into a 20 a day poster.
Yeah, she's just gonna do it more to piss me off. Like
the rebellious streak, right?
But I think you could shame your son out of wearing a hat rather quickly, especially if you get other people involved in the shaming. You could definitely get them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the reactions between the two different things, like you're gonna get a lot more people working against the hat
than the Instagram stories.
Yeah, which is tough. It's this is the world we live in. But I just thought that question, like between the hat touchstone and then the girl dad boy dad situation on this podcast, felt like a really good one to ask.
Yeah, God, I hate the big letter hat so much though. God, I can't take it. Cannot take it. It's quite possibly the worst thing that's come out of like the whole shrink, like the whole like post-COVID golf situation.
Dude, you know what's even worse? Like, so we were in Colorado. We went to Rocky Mountain National Park. I'm wearing the hat that I bought there, a decent little patch hat. But I was in there and I saw an upside down letter hat that just said Rocky on it. And I was like, we've gone to the national parks. What is wrong?
And here's the thing, is like half of them don't make sense.
That's the biggest thing, especially the ones that don't have vowels. Like that was the start of it,
Yeah, like Pinehurst, PNEHRST. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like, that doesn't even make sense.
No, yeah, the P Hurst.
Like, what happened? Why are we trying to make our hats like license plates? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what it is. That it's vanity plate lifestyle is just like gone to everything.
Yeah, it's a tough scene, man. And they're not like, and everybody's like, well, they're really nice hats. I'm like, there's a lot of nice hats that don't have that shit on them. Like, You
Yeah.
know? Oh God. Yeah, it's it's bad. Yeah, I can't believe we're in state parks now, national parks. Like soon we're gonna be in like kindergarten classes. It's a disease that has to be stopped.
The day we walk into, maybe one of our favorite establishments, Waffle House, and there's a big letter hat or an upside down hat for
I'll
sale.
never go back.
It's going to be the end of society at that point.
Oh gosh,
no safe spaces.
Oh gosh. So I've teetered between two questions, but I think this is probably the one I'm going to go with, and it kind of leads off your question. What is like everybody the hashtag shrink the game? It's becoming a thing. Like
it is.
I am heavily involved in the hashtag shrink the game. I'm very much. I found that I am like squarely in that group of people. Lot of nonsense going on. What's the one thing you saw? And we'll remove big letter hats out of it, right? Maybe it's like something that someone did on the golf course, like you saw on an Instagram video or something. What's the one where you're just like, that probably threw you over the top? Like, is there there's got to be a one that, or just even one that you were just like, this is a massive shrink the game moment here.
Yeah, man, I feel like there's so many just like touch points along the way that have led to this. Obviously the hats aside, that's its own thing. I mean, very specific to the hats though, like at Augusta, the pimento cheese hat guy on 16, like on everybody's tee shot, or the egg salad. It was egg salad is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That guy.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, we've crossed into sacred grounds with this stuff, and that's bad. That one's a for sure moment I can remember. I think in whole, so for like the Stampede, right, on Sundays, you guys have kind of done the pineapple thing for a while, kind of as like a long-standing almost joke. Gunt and I have gone with a few, vibrant shirts and things like that, just kind of like,
but classy. I feel like the ones we've always had have been pretty classy. Like,
yes. So I've since seen there's an epidemic of these like loud polos that are quite disgraceful though. It's like, it's a true tell of like you're a COVID player.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Situation.
You can pick a COVID player out pretty quickly depending on what kind of shirt they have on.
Usually paired with, white shorts. They're always untucked. Things like that.
And they didn't get the memo like 5 years ago that white belts are no longer acceptable.
Yeah. I also think something else, two things I've seen, actually 3 things I've seen recently. These hats have been around for a while, but we did see on Friday a guy wearing one of the titties hats instead of Titleist. Get all the way the fuck out of here with those.
Yeah.
That's out of here. Another one, I just saw an Instagram video of, and maybe you even know who this person is, but it was them recording this guy doing some sort of influencer video, and it's just like Jack dude, but he's got on like biker short style, like tight shorts, and his entire crew was wearing them too. Like I'm talking like, like the girl like legging style shorts.
Yeah,
they're like that tight. That one got me, pushed me over the edge. I had a third one and I can't quite remember what it was. God, what was it? Obviously there's been a lot. So pretty much since like TaylorMade coming out with like, and Callaway has them too, like the soccer ball style balls. They've got different logos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now. I saw so many people commenting on this post about the ones that are designed like baseballs and like saying how cool they were. And I was like, I about lost my mind.
Out.
Get out. What are we doing? Like, that's the kind of thing you would get from like your non-golf knowing relative for Christmas.
Yeah, we've talked about those presents in the past. That's definitely, yeah.
Like literally a golf ball with baseball seams on it, and people think that's awesome. No. Horrible. Abhorrent. So
That
yeah,
would
like
so that was just for reference, right? That would be like seeing a post with a baseball on it and it has Titleist on it. Like, oh, it's so cool. No, it's not cool. Like, no. Like,
no.
Yeah.
It's bad. And I feel like, we kind of had like a dam where we're kind of like holding, like things were kind of like isolated and held up. And it's in
exploded.
The last 3 years, we've run out of, we need Billy Mays or whoever over here with like Flexi Seal slapping this thing close. We've so many leaks. The dam has exploded. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. So my start of the shrink the game stuff started when I was coaching. The amount of 6-inch inseam shorts that I was seeing.
Yep.
Now, look, I have shorter legs. I'm a shorter guy. I do 8-9 inch, and 10's kind of long. I'm not a very tall person. And I don't
even I do 8.5, 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a short. Dude,
6 is short. And the amount of 6-inch inseams I was seeing out in high school golf was atrocious. That got, they go back to it's like what do they call it? When a villain, what do they call that? When the villain kind of starts his path down to to get to the point where he becomes a villain, like
an origin story.
Like an origin story. That's where mine started.
Yeah.
It drove me fucking insane. I had 5 guys and a 6-person team. They'd all have 6-inch inseams on. I'm like, no one wants to see that, dude. Nobody, including myself and your parents. They don't no one wants to see your legs, dude. No one.
It's horrible.
Nobody. So that was my origin story, right? That's where I really started to dig into the propaganda of shrink the game. That got me deep into really exploring where I actually stood in all this. But then there's there's touch points after that, right? The hats. And then it's my thing is I have a couple bold shirts from
mm-hmm.
One of our pineapples is pretty bold. We haven't worn that one in 3 years, but the shirts, it's what? A grown man should not be wearing a rubber ducky shirt.
No.
You know what I mean? There's got to be a line at some point of what's acceptable to wear. Some of these shirts, again, kind of the same thing. The shirts kind of led me deeper into it, right? And then it's and I want to get into this, and I want to preface this with, I have certain golf influencers I follow because I think I find them very interesting. I think what they do is interesting. I think what they talk about is interesting, not just to watch them play golf, but they've got really good brands of and I swear to God, most of them are teachers. You know what I mean? There's a guy that does short game stuff that I follow. He's he's in England, right? I do think there was some really good stuff to come out of that. I think the overkill in the amount of golf influence, and I'm talking we do a podcast, right? But we're not out on the course videotaping our rounds. No one wants to watch me play golf. Nobody does. I barely half the time want to watch me play golf. You know what I mean? But what I think is, and here's what every video that pops up, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Why did I just get 9 videos in a row of people I don't know that are doing all the same stuff? It's literally the same shit. Watch me play 3 holes. And what? And watch you go 6 over in 3 holes. How is that fun? That's fun for nobody, including yourself, right? So that has kind of gotten me into and then you start reading some stuff about some of these bigger names, and you're this dude's kind of an asshole. It's yeah, I can see that. Some backstories to some of these guys, and now we got the YGT, and I'm someone asked me, I can't even remember who asked me today. They're like, "Oh, did you watch the first episode of the YGT?" I'm like, absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. Like, I barely have enough time to watch professional golf, which I really do like to watch.
Yeah.
I don't have time to watch a 2.5 hour episode on YouTube of like random mid-20s to early 30s dudes play in a tour that they created. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, and maybe I would like it. I don't know. Probably not. But like, I don't like a lot of the good guys. I'll say the Brian Bros have worn me down a little bit. I used to like them. I used to think they really did some cool stuff. I think because they're older, they're trying to lean into like the younger stuff. And it's just, I don't think it's kind of weird. Like, you get to a certain age, like you're trying to act young. It's kind of comes off desperate kind of situation. And he's kind of one of those dudes that I've read enough stuff now that I'm like pretty convinced that George is a decent dude, but his brother's a dickhead. Like, I've read enough now that I'm pretty convinced of that. So that's another thing. Like, that this whole like 8 videos in a row of like watch me play 3 holes. Like, there's only so much you can watch of that, right? So that was all post-COVID. Like, that shit all kind of exploded post-COVID. And again, I think there's really good ones out there, but I'd be curious to see who's like actually kind of an asshole in real life. You know what I mean? I bet there's more of them than you would think. Like,
you know how screwed we are is like, we're about to have an entire generation of Bryson disciples.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is, like, I would actually give him credit because he's actually gotten like an original idea that he started that no one else was doing. The whole like break, 59 or whatever. I don't watch them, but at least it's something different than like, watch me play 3 holes at this Muni. And then like you like post the same fucking videos all over the place. Like, at least he does something slightly different. And he has, it's cool. Sometimes he has people on there where you're like, oh, that's like, I don't know much about this person. Like, they might be a professional athlete or something where he plays with them and you kind of get to learn more about them. I think that's kind of cool. I don't watch them because I don't really have time to do that. But yeah, but we are going to have a whole generation of like kids and I've seen kids. It started. Oh, yeah. It's leaked into like this 12-year-old that has a phone that's like trying to become a golf influencer.
The Bryson thing for me this is where another thing for the shrink the game thing is like, he out of his mouth. This is a 2-time major winner, multiple time Ryder Cupper, PGA Tour wins, Live wins, whatever. Literally deciding if he wants to play professional golf or be a YouTube influencer. Like,
yeah, that's wild.
That's it for me. I don't need it.
Shrink.
Yeah. Shrink.
The last one that like I was like, I'm like, well, 2 things. The top 100 golf course guys out. You're trying to like, and here's the thing, like some of the like one of the guys that I follow that I actually find pretty interesting, but now he's engagement baiting, and I'm out now. Like, I don't follow him anymore. He used to be really cool. Rick Goffs used to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You like see him, like he was kind of documenting his golf trips, and like he kind of knows people everywhere. I think he's in like insurance or something like that. When he was doing that stuff, I was like, this is cool. Like, playing a lot of top 100 golf courses, all that stuff. Like, but the way he kind of went about, like, here's how you handle yourself when you're at Wingfoot. Like, here's what a day looks like. Like, I find that stuff kind of cool. Now he's engagement baiting. He's getting Twitter checks and he's engagement baiting, and I'm out. Like, dude, unfollow, unsubscribe. Like, I'm out on that. But like, there's other guys that are like, they don't know anybody, and they're just like, they are farming to get on top 100 golf courses, and it's such a like shitty characteristic to have. Like, the whole like, I don't know you, but can I come play your golf course? Like, that's terrible. That is not what golf was built on. The times I've played nice courses, like, I've actually genuinely networked into getting to play nice golf courses, and I think And I think that's like in the nature of golf, right? Like golf is when you're not playing competitively, is a generally a like social sport, right? So like getting to know somebody, and then they like get to know you enough where they're like, "Hey, come play my course." Like, cool, I'll come out
you
there.
get an invite by being like a
And
human
you actually
being
know
and
the person.
and an organic person. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know the person you're playing with. Like, how weird would that be? Like, you're like, "Oh, I got an invite to Wingfoot. I don't even know who the fuck this guy is." Like, that's weird. Like, I'm sorry, that it's just weird, right? There's a lot of those people now, and like that drives me nuts. The one that did it for me, it was like a week ago, where I'm just like, we should ban all these people off of really nice golf courses. Is a dude drove a golf cart into the 19th hole lake out at Cedar, what the hell is it called? Yeah, Cedar Lodge or whatever. The one that's the Tiger Woods course, out in Branson. Drove a golf cart off the cliff into the lake, and I'm like, we've got to ban to save our nice golf courses. We've got to ban all these COVID golfers off these golf courses. got to get them off. Like they're gonna ruin all of our nice golf courses.
Yeah, it's a true Chappelle moment. If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
Yeah, it's built to this point where I'm just like, we've got to get these people off these golf courses. Like they can't handle it, right? Like they don't have the like finesse and like gentleman characteristics to like handle themselves on these type of golf courses.
Yeah. I didn't know that we'd get to this stage in our time doing this podcast, but And
again, I think we talked about this like a month ago. I'm like, I have not moved in my stance. The acceptable behavior on a golf course has moved so drastically in the other direction that I am now like the dude that's the gatekeeper. And I feel that I don't want to be there, but I'm like, and again, I'm like someone like, you want to turn your hat around backwards, dude, like after a round or something? I don't care. Like if you want to wear your shirt a little like untucked, I don't even care about that. But like, there's like, it's just the way you act has to be a certain demeanor. And it's just like these people that have only been playing this game for 5 years since COVID just don't have it. They don't have that. Most of them don't have that like finesse to be able to like have fun, but then like act like a gentleman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think for us, like, the golf is always first, right? Like that's why we're there. That's what we love. We love the sport. We love the company and all that, the social aspect of it. And we like to have fun. But a lot of this is just like bar behavior that is migrated to a golf course.
Yeah. And again, we've been on courses and had fun and drank and like had a blast, right? Like,
yeah,
we've never damaged a golf course. We've never acted in a way where like, oh, if that would have got caught, we would have been kicked off the golf course. Like, never has that, like, but we've had fun. We've drank, done all that stuff. Like, we do that all the time. But it like, yeah, bar behavior, like frat house behavior is really probably what it is.
Yeah, a better way to describe it. Yeah.
Because I've been in bars where like frat house behavior is definitely the actual what it actually is.
You remember the days when like listening to music during golf was like
taboo?
Yeah, like, oh God.
Honestly, I think I would sacrifice that right now if it got it back to normal.
I would too. I'm at a point where like I'm there for like the peace of the, you know what I mean? Like to me, like there's a serenity to golf, and I, not that I'm anti-music, but like you're kind of out in nature. You're, the quiet. You're listening to the wind blow through the trees, the sound of water. If you've got water on a court, like there's, that stuff hits too.
Here's my thing. If it got us back to zero, I would sacrifice listening to music on a golf course.
Yeah.
I would 100%. They like, you give this up, all the shithead post-COVID golfers are gone. Like, done. Like, I'll never bring a speaker to a golf course ever again.
Yeah. The funny thing too with the influencer stuff is like it's reminding me sort of bands, right? Where it's like you like the early stuff. They're kind of like underground. You feel like you discovered them a little bit and stuff, and then like all of a sudden it just hits mainstream, and then they sell out, or there's like other people imitating them now that's kind of sound the same, but they're shittier. Like we've hit that point with that too.
That's a really good way to put it. Like, yeah, like some of the early ones, like I really enjoyed their stuff, and it's like now we've just got to like I saw a guy the other day. I'm like, one of his videos popped up. I'm like, I didn't even know this dude was with Good. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, I have no idea. And it's like, he did a video and he shot like 41. I'm like, dude, no one wants to see this. Like, like who the hell wants to sit? Like, I'll go play golf myself if I want to watch someone hacking around and, shoot 40. Like, I know plenty of those guys. I could go watch them live. It's like, oh yeah, it's gotten bad, and I think I was talking to someone the other day. I was like, this has put it perfectly. Like, golf needs a good recession. Like the people that are like, because right now I just feel like the people that are like this, like as soon as like they couldn't they would have to give up other things to still do it, they'd be gone, right? Like they're just not going to do golf anymore.
Yeah.
Like they've, whatever. Like if a recession hit golf, like we maybe we don't play as much, but we would find a way to still make it work and still play. Like I feel like a good golf recession would just get them out of it. Like, God forbid they had to give up, their boat. Like they would be out on golf. Like they'd keep the boat over playing golf for sure.
Yeah.
So, God, it's bad. We're in a bad situation. Yeah.
I think an hour and 46 minutes in here, maybe time to get off our soapbox now.
Yeah,
but thank you all for listening. If you want some Shrink the Game literature, you know where to find us. We can hand you a nice pamphlet. You can read up on it a little bit.
Yeah, like it's like the 5 stages that you lead into getting to where you want to shrink the game.
Yeah, we'll give you some good talking points out there to spread the good word of the Shrink the Game movement, please. But yeah, thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. Hit us up with some fan mail. That link is down in the show description. We're going to enjoy some golf this weekend. We'll be back next week to recap how things shook out. Hopefully, good way for one or both of us on this podcast somehow. And until next time, cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six-Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.